Alright, so last night I went to see this film. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. And it was a pretty decent film. It really was. It was an enjoyable sequel. Like sometimes you watch sequels and think this is awful. This one wasn't that bad. It was still quite fun. It was in the spirit of the first one. At least the first two acts were. I'll get into that in a minute. Yeah, not a bad watch. I enjoyed it. I will say that the first one is better, so we'll get that out of the way straight away. The first one is a better film, but this one isn't that bad either. So, if you've seen the first one, I suggest you sort of like keep watching the video. If you haven't seen the first film, this video will instantly spoil the first movie, and so will the film. So, if you haven't seen it, go on Disney Plus right now. It's on Disney Plus streaming. And it is well worth you watching. So if you haven't watched Ready or Not, go and watch it on Disney Plus. You will love it. Trust me. And if you haven't seen Ready or Not 2, I'm going to spoil the hell out of Ready or Not 2 now. So you might want to see that film before you watch this video as well. If you don't care, stick around. If you do care, there we go. I'm going to chuck that poster down there now. So, this film is great because it starts off the very second the previous film finished. Like literally, you could literally put them together and just keep it rolling and it will continue. It is great. Like, it's kind of like Halloween and Halloween 2, where Michael Myers falls down, he's on the floor, and then we get the scene of Loomis coming out. It literally continues straight away. You can literally have them back to back, continuously watch it as one giant 4-hour movie. You could do that quite easily. Now, is this movie a good movie? Yes, it's a good movie. It's funny like the original one was. It's got that sort of laughing at violence. Like the original movie laughed at the violence and made the violence funny. This film does exactly the same thing for the first two acts of the movie. It's doing the same thing as like things with rocket launchers that go wrong. There's weapons scenes that go wrong. There's the fight scenes. There's the funny sort of accidents happening scenes and people dying with like funny ways and then people getting blown up. All that stuff is in there from the first one as well. It's very similar in the vibe and the mood and the tone. However, the third scene gets really dark and stays dark, and they sort of forget the comedy. I feel like in the third act, it's like they've completely forgot that this is supposed to be a comedy movie, and it really lets the film down at the end. That's the one takeaway. When I come out of the film, I was like, that third act was too violent, too nasty, and not funny. Until the very, very end part, they put the comedy back in at the end. It's almost like they got to the third act, it was like, let's get really dark and serious. And then they got to the very end of the movie and went, oh God, it's supposed to be a comedy. Crap. And they started adding a few jokes at the end. But I was like, this film has got so dark. And there's a scene in it with like a man beating up a woman, basically. And it's really graphic and really brutal and really violent. And I was like, this is going a bit too far. And then we get another character come in, who's played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she looks like Jesus, like what is going on here? And she thinks it's gone too far as well. It's kind of echoing what the audience is thinking, like this movie just went too far. And that's how I felt watching it. It's just me. I felt it was like this movie, it lost its comedy and went straight for this darker side, and I was kind of disappointed by that. But we'll get into the movie as we go. As I said, it starts off exactly where the first film ends. So she's sitting on the steps, house on fire behind her, blood all over, and she's smoking the cigarette. And then the paramedics turn up, and it's all done just looking at her, that she then blacks out, and then they take her off in the ambulance, and she wakes up in hospital. And her sister turns up because the contact details that her sister on her fingers, that emergency contact, is her sister. So she turns up, and they haven't spoken for years. They had a big falling out. One of them went away, and sort of they didn't see each other for years. So we have this kind of like coldness between the two of them. And they're trying to talk. It's quite funny. Some of the dialogue between is quite funny. And then suddenly someone comes in to try and attack them. And they obviously escape that person. He ends up dying, whatever. And it's actually the guy that's the sister's co-star from Abigail as well. He's a good actor as well. He's a great guy. But he's like this coked up nutter who's going to kill him. Because we find out that because she survived the first movie and the family didn't get to kill her, that's started off this ritual thing where whoever is in charge of the world, because this whole Satanist cult run the world. They literally run the entire thing. So every decision made is them that make the decision. It's that whole theory of that is like a rich, like the rich people run the world and they all sort of in charge and we all do their bidding really. It's that sort of thing where you see a scene where the guy who's running the world currently, he's watching the news, and there's a war going on somewhere, and he basically says, right, let's do a ceasefire now. And they do a ceasefire, and suddenly the news report changed, ceasefire just been done. So they are that much in charge of the world. And it's like a Satanist cult. And so, but by her surviving the first film and the family not killing the bride, now there's like a battle to become number one. And to become number one, you have to hunt down and kill the bride. So that's like the ultimate thing. And all these people come from all these different like families, like all the heads of the families come together at this mansion to hunt this bride down. So we get this like hilarious sort of like race between all the baddies to try and kill her, because whoever kills her becomes the supreme power and the ruler of the world. So obviously everyone wants this, and they've all got their own reasons for wanting it, and each one of them sort of like ethnically different as well, but they become culturally different. So it's funny because you've got these different like culture clashes as well as the sort of Satanists being nuts, but they're all Satanists as well. It's really funny. So they all sort of descend on the house, and the bride then finds out she has to do the game again. She has to play the hide and seek game again while they're all hunting her down, trying to kill the poor girl, and she's already been through it. And she's still damaged from the first film, because like we keep going. It's not like 10 years later. She's still got the scars, got the blood, she's got the medical stuff to try to patch her up, but she's still in a lot of pain. And they're like, you have to do it again. And she's like, no. And then they say, well, if you don't, we're going to kill your sister, because the sister's there with her, handcuffed to her. So then they have to together evade the hunters. And this is, I say, it's a very funny film. The first two acts of this film are really funny. There's stuff like where they're trying to hunt them down, and the hunters are just rubbish shots in the rifle, and they're missing them every time, because these aren't killers, these aren't hunters. These are like normal rich people that have to take part in this ritual. So they're rubbish at killing. You get this scene with like later on with a bazooka, that she fires it the wrong way. She's like aimed at her, and the bride is there. She's got nowhere to go, and the woman's like, yeah, and the bullet goes the wrong way. It's stuff like that. It's really zany, funny stuff, but it mixes with the violence, so it becomes like you can laugh at the violence. Again, it's until we get to the third act. But there's like loads of scenes like that. So we get like the bride then runs, and we find out that one of the hunters was supposed to marry the bride's husband before, and she's angry because like she stole him off her. Yet that would have led to her being hunted and killed in that mansion in the first film. So I don't get why she was that upset by this. Like, she must have known what was going to happen. So it was really bizarre. But she's got his vendetta against her as well, so she really wants to kill her. Her dad tries at first. He fails and gets killed. A lot of the hunters sort of get killed as they go along, just like in the first film. And there's some real good moments. I said, like, and then we get like these scenes where the bride manages to sort of break the handcuffs with her sister, and they're still working together trying to escape. There's one scene where the bride's sister could have escaped, but she comes back to save her sister, and they're still arguing about like that, even because they argue about pretty much everything in this film. But she's like, you should have just run and got the police, but she's like, you would have died, and that what's the point? And she's like, well, you still should have run away. Why did you stay? There's a lot of that going on, which is great, because I think that makes this film more enjoyable, because you've got that friction between the two sisters. So I originally thought when they were going to bring the sister, I was like, oh god, why have they done that? But when you see the chemistry between the two, it works really well. They do act like sisters that are just like sibling rivalry going on. It does work very well like that. Now, as I said, we get to a stage where we get the hunter's being hunted, and then the girl that's got a vendetta against the bride finds her, and they start fighting and having a proper full-on violent little fist fight of each other. She tries to shoot with a rocket launcher at one point. The bullet goes wrong, so the bride sort of runs at her. And we get a lot of stuff. Then they sort of spray each other in the face with mace, so neither of them can see. And you get this kind of like fight where they don't know where each other are, so they're like just throwing fists around them in mid-air, just missing each other completely, throwing knives at each other, missing everything completely. It kind of reminded me of years ago, there was a wrestling match. It was Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick the Model Martel in a blindfold match. And it's like a match where they're all sort of like doing that, trying to find each other, and then one will grab the one, they'll drop a move on him, but he won't be able to find him to pin him, that sort of stuff. That was a funny match. If you go back and watch that, it's silly, but it's actually not bad for what it is. But Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick the Model Martel was at a WrestleMania, I can't remember which one it was. But if you like wrestling, go and check that one out. It's a vintage classic. So, yeah, so you can't see. But at the same time that's happening, the male son of the original ruler of the world, he finds the sister, the younger sister, and he beats the living crap out of her as they're playing Oh, the song by Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart. And it's like, you see him hitting her a few times. I think, oh, in a minute she's going to hit back, it's going to get funny. But he doesn't. He just keeps beating her and kicking her and punching her. And it's really nasty, a real brutal beatdown. I sat there thinking, this ain't funny anymore. And it's not fun. Occasionally they'll flash back to the girls fighting, and it kind of tries to line it, but then that gets quite physical and dark as well. And then from that point on, the movie doesn't really get comical anymore. It gets more serious. And I was like, this is too much. We were enjoying the fun. We were enjoying the laughing at this film, and suddenly we're not laughing anymore. Especially that beat down on that girl, it was too much. And then you get Sarah Michelle Gellar's character comes into it. It's the sister of the guy who's beating the crap out of the girl. And she's watching. She's like, this is, what are you doing? This is too much. Like, why are you doing this? And he's just like he's enjoying like kicking her and hitting her, and you're like, oh, I don't like this. And the guy playing, they do a fantastic, acting wise, everyone in this film does a fantastic job with the acting, like real on par. He is menacing as hell when he starts doing it. You kind of get a feeling there's something off about him the whole way through the film, but when he starts doing that, you're like, ooh, like he's horrible. He's been in something else. I think it might be The Faculty or something. I've seen him in something a while ago, but he's nasty as hell in this film. He's like beating the hell out of it. And then we get sort of like the bride then sort of runs and hides, and they've got the sister, sort of they grab hold of her and they use her as bait to lure the bride in. And the bride found out earlier on that they don't have to be doing any of this. If she married someone within the cult, they can stop and they say that's it. And then whoever she marries will become the ruler of the world. So as they've got hold of the sister and the bride's trapped somewhere and she's got to try and get out to them, they say to her like, she says, like, if I marry you, we can stop all this and end it. And he's like, okay, but only if you promise you won't lay a finger on us. So you have to swear on your, Mr. Sanger, he's like the Satan, he's like their version of Satan. And if you swear on him that you will not harm us, I'll come out and I'll marry you. And then you get them going to like a wedding and having the wedding. And then she kind of screws him over at the end because like she's like, he gets the power ring and he becomes like the one in charge. And she then just attacks him, sort of stabbing at him. Like randomly, as they do that, you make his spray, he kisses her, like forces himself to kiss her. She's then like upset and like stands there, and suddenly she just goes at him with like blades, like stabbing, this like pens, like stabbing the crap out of him in the neck, stabs him all over, and then she throws him into like this pit of like bodies and stuff. And because she grabs the ring off his finger, she's now the one in charge, so she puts the ring on herself. So she's technically in charge of every decisions. And she says, for my first decision, no more of this. Like, no, like, I step down. I step down, you can all be it. And she takes her, she throws in the pit and says, whoever gets it, sort of thing. And they all go diving in and start fighting each other. And you see this massive, like, bloodbath in this pit with all this, like, blood everywhere. And everyone's trying to kill each other to try and find the ring. Someone finds the ring in the end, but it happens too late. And then everyone starts to blow up and explode. Now, I will say an honourable mention to Elijah Wood in this, who plays the kind of like, he's kind of one oversees all these traditions. He doesn't seem to be trying to become any part of it. He's like, almost if he was appointed by the devil to oversee the tradition, to make sure everything goes right. And he stands there most of the time sort of overseeing stuff and kind of enjoying the fact that he's just watching the chaos go on. But he's kind of biased to everything. And I thought that was a great character. And I got to the end of the second film and I thought to myself, this is going to come back again. We're going to get a third one. Because obviously the sisters leave, they're happy, they go on to live their life, whatever. And Elijah Wood survives as well. And I was like, we are going to get a third one. They're going to have to go through this one more time. And Elijah Wood's going to have to sort of get balance back. But as I said, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I did think it went too dark at the end. I said that scene with the beating was too much for me. I thought we've gone from laughing at violence to feeling very uncomfortable with it. Maybe that was the director's choice. They wanted to do that for us, maybe. But I'm not sure if it was needed. And I said it did put me off the movie. I would have given this film like a rave, like greatest film I'd seen all year if it hadn't have gone down that route. Because I said I was thoroughly enjoying the comical violence side of it. Like the bad shots and people getting killed, like swords getting people's necks, but in a funny way, by accident, that sort of thing. So that becomes comical. People getting blown up by accident and like stuff like the stupidity of it. And there's like one scene where someone gets bumped into like, it's like a really hot washing machine, and he gets like bundled around the washing machine. He comes out, and he's all like that. That is stupid, over the top, comical violence. But then they went in a different direction halfway through the movie. It's like you're watching a whole different movie. And I was like, that did not need to happen. And it did put a massive dampener on the rest of the movie. So I can't, until that point, I thought this could be better than the first one. But no, the first one is still the better one. Like I said, you do kind of need to, they show you in flashbacks a lot of what happened in the first one, just to get you caught up. But I do think it's important that you watch the first one first. And I said, this could easily become one long movie. If you wanted to do like the marathon, watch both back to back, it would work. And if you could do it without stopping, even better. If you could cut them both together, it would work. You could watch it like that, because they do seamlessly go from the first film to the second film. It's seamless. It's just like another scene. It's continuation. I said, everyone in it's great. All the actors in it that you spot in it are great. Elijah Wood's fantastic. Sarah Michelle Gellar's phenomenal in it. Especially the way her character kind of changes from like enjoying this to not enjoying it anymore. She does basically what we do as an audience. She enjoys it, and then when it gets serious, she kind of doesn't enjoy it anymore. She literally does what we do, and she does a phenomenal job in it. Also, we did recently find out Buffy's not going to happen now. And we also found out that apparently the girl that plays the bride's sister in this was going to be in Buffy as well. We found that as well. So it's a shame that's not getting made now. I still think it's gone. Someone's going to pick it up. The backlash from that is getting picked up. But anyway, what did you think of this movie? Are you like me? Did you think it went too far when it came to that scene? Do you think it kind of like changed, like the entire movie, the whole perception of the movie changed? Did you not bother? Were you not bothered by it? Did you not see the change happen? Would you think you're still watching the same sort of movie? What did you think? Do you think they're going to make another one? Do you think that this one was as good as the first one? What was your favourite one? Let me know in the comments below, because I do love chatting about stuff afterwards. I like to hear your points of view. So please, please, please in the comments. And I'll see you all soon. Also, I've got this at the cinema, just so you know where I got the poster from. This poster was at Cineworld Cinemas, and they do their posters for like a donation. So all you have to do is put like couple of quid in their charity pot, or go to the till and give them like a couple of quid, and you can take home a movie poster. It's all their old promotional stuff. But obviously they had too many of these, and I managed to get this one quite early. Normally it's like old, slightly older films. Actually, tell a lie, recently it's been all the films that are on right now. Like I also got a Bridget Jones one, because they're re-putting out Bridget Jones for the 25-year anniversary, and that was there as well. So if you go to your Cineworlds, have a look around, see if they've got a poster. Ask them at the till if they do it, because my one in Ashford, Kent does this. So you go to, there's like the little you walk in, they've got the amusement bit there, and on the side where you sort of walk into see the screens, there's a big box, and they've got all these posters in a box and a little thing there. You speak to the staff, and they'll let you have a look at them, and you can pick which one you like. I was hoping to get a Scream one. There was not one there, sadly, but they do have these ones. So, and they are movies out now as well, so it's pretty decent. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all very, very soon, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and be careful when playing hide and seek with strange families, yeah? Bye.